Making 3D in Scratch without any complicated code is this easy. So just go create, and when you're here, just delete the Scratch CAD so nothing is there. Then we can go back to code, and we're gonna add the pen extension to draw our 3D cube. Next, we're gonna of course start the program off with the when green flag is clicked, and we have to set the pen color. This color is super ugly, so I'm just gonna change it to kind of light blue like that. So then we have to set the pen size, so I'm going to set it to something like 5, but you can set it to whatever you like. And finally we're going to have pen down so it actually starts drawing. So what does this do? Well, of course, it just draws one dot in the middle of our screen at 0, 0. So we actually wanted to draw a square now, and then we're going to make another square and we're going to connect the two. So let's make a custom function. Go and make a block, and let's just call it draw outer line. And then we're going to have x, and y, y. And I'm going to run this without screen refresh. And there is our custom function. If I click the green flag again, of course, it's still the same. So now go to x, and y. And over here, we're going to use the forever loop, and we're going to basically go to 4 corners, and that's going to create the square. So I'm going to say go to 68, 68, and then 68 minus 68, minus 68, minus 68, minus 68, 68, and finally back to 68, 68. So all this will do is draw a nice square for us. And you can see it's nothing special, it's just a 2D shape. So every time we go up a dimension, we're just going to duplicate the shape and connect the corners like this. And it's the same for a 4D shape, a 5D shape, even a 9D shape can be created. Okay, so basically what we want to do is make another square and then connect the corners. But first, before we create a function for the second square, I just want to be able to change the side of the square that I made. So we can just delete the my variable and create a new one and call it size. And then just double click once more to get the slider option. And we want to change the slider range from 0.1 to around 1.5. And you can mess around with these values if you want. So when we start the project, I think a size of 1 would be okay. And then here, all we have to do is say x times size, and then again y times size. And now when we click, we see it's not getting bigger or smaller. It's kind of looks like a spiral. Kind of looks like the Roblox logo right now. But here's where we went wrong, so we didn't erase. So we have to put an erase all at the start of our forever loop. And now you can tell that the size is actually changing. So we can create our custom function now. We're just going to call it drawLine x, y, y, and again we're going to run this without screen refresh. And now this is a bit more complicated. So at first we can just duplicate this, and it's just going to do the same thing as a draw outer line. So we're going to go to x times size and y times size, so that's just going to draw the same square if we have the same inputs, and that's not what we want. We actually need to make 2 new variables now, x and y, and just like size, you're going to double click those 2 times. And we're going to have 3 sliders now, and we also change the slider range for these ones. So it's going to be minus 50 to 50, and that's going to be the same for our y variable. So we're just going to displace the position we have by this amount. So it's going to be x plus x and y plus y. Now I'm actually going to change from 68, 68. This time we're going to do 50. So it's going to be 50, 50, then minus 50, 50, minus 50, minus 50, 50, minus 50, and then again 50, 50. So this is basically the same principle once again. And when we click the green flag, we see a second smaller square, which makes sense. And we can see the size actually changes the size of both of the squares. And we can see the second square can be manipulated by these 2 variables, but the lines still are not connected. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. So now we just need to connect the 2 squares. So we can duplicate this and just delete the y and x variables. Instead, we're going to replace them with x and y. And we're just going to divide x by 2.8 and do the same to y. So you might be asking, why did I choose the number 2.8? Where did I get that from? Well, actually x plus x divided by 2.8. So if x is 50 and we divide 50 by 2.8, that will be around 18. So it will be just enough to get to one of the corners. So it's either going to be negative or positive 68. So that basically means we're going to connect with one of these coordinates. Now we can finally bring our pen up and stop drawing and just go back to the position we were at and then continue with the pen down. So cleaning up all the blocks, it's been around 63 blocks, so it's under 75 blocks. And let's just full screen and you can see we have a fully functioning 3D cube, and here's some games you can make with it. So that's pretty cool. And if you want to see another method of doing 3D, then click on this project.